I matched with a guy on Hinge who lives in my apartment complex. So I had seen this guy around before. We have these study rooms in my apartment and I've always seen him studying in there and I always thought he was cute. We matched on Hinge and I immediately recognized him. I also knew it was him because one of his pictures was taken in our apartment hallway mirrors. And I recognized the carpet, I recognized the mirror, so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is him. So we start chatting and it was a Friday night and I was getting ready to go out for drinks with friends. He's like, well, could I come over and hang out while you get ready? And I'm like, sure. So I am like done getting ready. I have to leave the house in like 5 minutes. I don't have that much time to hang out, but I thought it was a good idea to, I don't know, meet him for a second. So he comes over, very chill vibes. I'm like spraying my perfume on. I'm ironing my pants, like running out the door. We get to know each other for a couple minutes. Then we kiss. As one does. It was a very good kiss. It was a very short kiss. And that was that. I didn't have his phone number. The only way I could contact him was through Hinge. Well, then I deleted my Hinge account. So I had no way of contacting this man. A couple weeks later, I re-download my Hinge, of course, and we match again. He's like, why did you unmatch me? And I was like, I didn't. I deleted my account and then I had no way of reaching you. And he's like, okay, well, I'd like to hang out again. And I'm like, me too. On another night that I was going out, when I got home, he came over. One thing led to another. And it was awful. Without going into too much detail, it was not a good time. So when he left my apartment, I would be fine never speaking to that man again. I didn't text him. He didn't text me. So, you know, we live in the same apartment complex. It's likely we're gonna run into each other. We had actually run into each other one time before this in the mailroom in between the two Hinge matches. I get home from my daughter's dance class and we are parked in the garage, which is underneath the apartments. We're taking the elevator up, the door opens, and guess who's standing right there? This apartment man. I have my daughter with me, so I'm not going to acknowledge him, but we just kind of looked at each other. We walked past him. I turned around and smiled like, hey. Then I texted him and I said, LOL. And I'm gonna read you our text exchange from that point on because these texts are diabolical and this man is diabolical. I came with receipts this time. This was November 13th. After I ran into him in the elevator, I said, LOL. He said, who is this? I sent him this emoji. He sent a question mark. So I sent him a screenshot of our texts right above this, coordinating him coming over to my apartment. He said, I can't remember who that is, sorry. I said, that's wild. He said, maybe you got the wrong number. Obviously, he's rage baiting me. I said, STFU, LOL. He said, you trying to, is that why you texted me? I said, nah. He said, I don't think you should have my number. I'd suggest you delete it. I said, oh, did I hurt your feelings? He said, I still don't know who you are. Yeah, sure. That was November 13th. Last night, I get a text from this man. I never responded after he said, I still don't know who you are. He responded to one of my old texts, which means he knew who it was all along because he didn't delete our messages. And he said, all you want to do is F. I said, who is this? He said, well, I guess you're not in the mood tonight, for lack of a better word. I said, I am, just not for you. He said, me too. So stop reaching out when you see me around. Oh, you reached out to me. I said, you texted me, LOL. And then I said, are we flirting right now? He said, absolutely not. I just found out who you are and texted you to let you know never to text me again. I'm not interested and please get rid of my number. Thanks. After he texted me, okay, he double texted me, asking me to hook up. I said no because it was not a good time. I said, you're bald, bye. And that is the end of that. If I ever see him again, it'll be awkward. But for him to literally be the one to reach out to me, asking me to hook up, then to say, oh yeah, I just wanted to reach out to say never talk to me again after I rejected him. Hey Google, play Man Child by Sabrina Carpenter.
Story time on getting fired a week before Thanksgiving as an assistant store manager in a luxury jewelry store. I will not be disclosing the name of the company. However, this is just my personal experience and what I had went through. I started working for this brand in August of 2024 at the store grand opening at a location in Massachusetts as a full-time stylist, and I absolutely loved the job. I loved the people that came in. I loved my team. I loved helping people. So within the first couple of months, I had mentioned to my manager that if she was ever looking for an assistant store manager, or if there's any leadership positions that were opening within that store, that I would love to take on more responsibility. And she had agreed. She thought it was a great idea. So we had brought it up to her boss around the end of 2024. I wasn't against it. However, I was only employed with the company for a few months at that time. So I believe that there was just a little bit of a wait period just so I could prove myself, work through a first holiday, Black Friday, and all through December as a stylist. I was totally fine with. We then hear no updates, nothing back until June 10th. My manager gets a message saying that I am going to be flown out on June 16th, the week after, for a week, because to go into any sort of leadership position, you have to go through their training, which is based where their company is based in Laguna Beach for a week. June 16th ended up being, it's my birthday, but I was still super excited for the trip. I was excited to get promoted. And on Monday, June 16th, it was more so a travel day. So I didn't have to work on that day, which I was very excited about. I came back from training having the best experience. I had expressed to my manager how exciting it was, how I made a lot of new friends with managers that were being promoted in different locations across the US that all went to training. And I had a great experience overall. I felt like I learned a lot of new things. And then there was also a lot of refresher things for product knowledge that I was already aware of. Within a week, we receive a Google Calendar invite, my manager and I, with my manager's boss and the people that were in charge of training. And they had let me know that they thought that I was not prepared based off of the way that I was acting in Laguna Beach. There was a private part of the training where we all sat out by the picnic tables and were given journals and had to write about something that we were excited about getting promoted and something we were nervous about. And I had expressed in my journal that I was very anxious. I suffer from social anxiety, and I was anxious about flying because I haven't flown in a long time. And I was anxious to be stepping into this whole training program at Laguna Beach. I've never been to Laguna Beach before, and it's also a very different environment than what I'm used to in my day-to-day of just being on the sales floor at the store. So this was a private journal entry that we were not supposed to be sharing, which our training person had told us at first. Then all of a sudden she made us go around in a circle and share everything that was in our journals. So I am honest. I expressed how I was a little bit anxious about the trip and meeting all these new people and meeting all of the corporate team. And I just expressed that I had anxiety. Fast forward, this call that we had, they had basically thrown that back on me and said that my anxiety deters me from having a management position. So they think that it's best if they extend my interim assistant store management period. So what was meant to be around a 90-day interim period ended up being over 100. I believe it was around 130 days. If I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. So during my interim period, I am not promoted yet as a manager. So I'm still getting paid hourly the same amount that I was before that. And I was doing all of the responsibilities that an assistant store manager would do. And then also for the interim period, they have the store manager and the interim assistant store manager kind of switch roles of responsibilities just so you could get your feet wet and everything to run the store. I get notified by my manager in October that after she had her quarterly meeting with her boss that I had graduated out of the interim period and I am officially promoted as assistant store manager, which I was super excited about because I knew that I worked so hard to prove myself that I was a good fit for the role. Everything is going handy dandy, right? I receive a phone call on November 14th, Friday, so 2 weeks ago, from the head of HR on the store phone with no notice and asked if I could hop onto a Google Calendar call on the store computer. So I brought the computer to the back and hopped on a call with her. Now, within that call, she had asked about policy questions, asking about how our store checks employees out, how my manager checks employees out, who would check my manager out and things like that, as well as warranty questions about our warranty that we have for damaged pieces. I was super honest during this call. It was a little under 30 minutes, and I had just assumed that it was a check-in because she had even mentioned in that call that this will not end in termination and that there can be different options offered, as maybe sending someone back into training, which I would assume they were speaking about my manager going back into possible training. This whole week progresses. I'm working full time. I'm setting up the holiday decor, getting ready for Black Friday, doing the window vinyls, staying late past the time I've clocked out, helping put up the Christmas decorations. I then get an email Wednesday, the 19th. I left work at 5:30 Eastern time, and the company is based on the West Coast in Laguna Beach. So they are 3 hours of a time difference. CFO calls the store and my manager picks up and she asks for Kaylee. And my manager had let her know that I had just left. And she said, oh my gosh, of course I got the times wrong, because she called an hour later at 6:30 when I had left at 5:30. So I receive an email on my personal email from her asking if I can speak on my day off on Thursday, the 20th, if there could be any time put aside to speak with her very quick. And I said, yeah, of course. I had scheduled a time for Thursday morning to speak. So Thursday, November 20th, I hop on this call with her and she lets me know that I am terminated effective immediately, as well as my store manager. I had been given no notice of any termination. Actually, the call I had the week prior, the HR woman had mentioned that there would be no termination. I was told that I had signed the EWG and I had signed these forms, which all workers have to sign when they first get employed, which it's a 270-page form where it does state that they can terminate any employee for no reason, no cause, and give no warning or update to the employee. And I got told I would receive documents to my email afterwards. Right after that call, everything was taken away. My work email and everything had been deactivated, and I had received termination PDF thing to sign right after that. And they had fired my store manager as well, and my full-time stylist that also worked there since the grand openings. Last day is tomorrow.
I'm putting this restaurant in Beverly Hills on blast right now because they literally ruined my 40th birthday. I know this might be a little bit of a long video, but stick around because I'm about to rip this restaurant a new asshole. Cipriani. What they did was fucked up. My amazing boyfriend has been planning my 40th birthday dinner for a very long time. He had a reservation originally at a different restaurant that was beautiful and it was outdoors, and that's where we were going. Then we found out about a week ahead that it was gonna be pouring rain that weekend. So that place wasn't gonna work anymore. So my boyfriend was looking around for places for last minute reservations for a party of 7, and he knows I love jazz, he knows I love music. The reason why we picked Cipriani is because on that night, they have these really cool speakeasy like jazz nights, and it's in a different room in the restaurant. It's upstairs and you have jazz and you get to have dinner, and it just looked really lovely. So I was super excited about it. So my boyfriend called them, made a reservation for that specific room, and said, hey, like also like I'm bringing a cake. And they were like, no problem, but we do charge like a $4 like cake fee. So like they charge $4 per slice. No problem. So it's my birthday night. It is pouring rain. We get there and the very snobby woman in the front says, oh, we have a reservation for you, but not for the jazz club. And my boyfriend's like, that's the only reason why we came here, so figure it out. And she's like, no, we have a reservation just for dinner. And then I'm looking around the restaurant. I'm sorry. This place, the energy in there is like middle-aged, snobby, white, preppy people, okay? Like nobody's smiling. It's just like the last place I want to be for my 40th, okay? This woman refuses to help us and she's like, sorry, like literally there's nothing I can do. And at this point, everybody's on their way. So I was like, you know what, babe, like fuck it. Like, we're just gonna eat here. Like, I was really unhappy about it, but it is what it is. So like the first thing they should have done was be like, listen, we don't have room for dinner up there right now, but because you called and made this reservation and it's her 40th birthday, we're gonna try our very best to still make this night special for you, and we're gonna try to at least get you in after the dinner part to listen to some music. But no, they didn't fucking help us or offer anything at all. And they were such fucking assholes about it. So then we sit down for dinner. I look at the menu and it's like $35 to $40 for a bowl of fucking pasta, right? And I'm like, shit, this place, I'm not even gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be super expensive. We all order our food. Bro, the food portions, first of all, the ravioli that I ordered, barely any ravioli on my plate. And they were like paper thin. Like if I'm getting ravioli, there better be something inside the ravioli. Chef Boyardee from the grocery store has better ravioli than Cipriani. The food was so below mediocre, it was a joke. What they were charging for their food compared to the quality of their food is actually insane. But even their drinks, my friend ordered a Bellini. It was like this fucking big. It looked like a shot glass. So not only did I not enjoy the food, it was way overpriced. Now it's time for the cake. Now, the same woman in the front who was a bitch to us is like, sorry, we can present the cake on the table for you, but we cannot sing you happy birthday and we can't serve it here. And he goes, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, you already fucked up the reservation. I called before about the cake. You told me I could bring it. You've been holding it in the refrigerator the whole time. And now you're saying we can't even eat the cake here. And she's like, yeah, sorry. Like, there's literally nothing I could do. She was such a bitch. They were all assholes, okay? And again, like, my boyfriend prepared for this. Like, we had a cake. We got permission for the cake. My boyfriend, let me tell you, he's the nicest, sweetest, most kind man ever, okay? For him to get angry, especially around me, is like unheard of. He is just flipped a lid and was like, you guys better fucking bring out this cake or I'm not paying for this bill. Like, you guys are making her birthday a nightmare. You're ruining her 40th birthday. Like, she walks away from him. Like, too bad, walks away from him. So he goes to the front. I don't know what happened, but they send this other very nice woman. And they probably were just like, we need to just take care of these people and get them out. She's like, you know what? After all you've been through, you know what? We will serve you the cake, but we are gonna charge you for it, okay? Like, at least don't even, you shouldn't even be charging us for the fucking cake fee now. So, they bring out the cake. They're standing there over me, right? While I have my cake with the candle in it. And my friends sing me happy birthday, and they're just standing waiting because they're in a rush. They're in a rush to get the cake off the table and go to the other people, right? Like, I'm trying to have a moment with my friends and like have a nice at least happy birthday wish and blow out my candle. But they're hovering over me like, are you done? Like, can you make a wish? Like, can you do it already so that we can cut the cake and get back to work? And then the bill, guess how much the bill was? Take a guess, I'll give you a second. Go ahead, I'll give you. $1,300. $1,300. We all ordered an entree, we all ordered a drink and 2 appetizers. $1,300 for that bullshit fucking night. And they made sure that they added the tip on top of it because they probably knew they weren't gonna get a good tip from us or any at all. Do not go to Cipriani's. And Cipriani's, shame on you, okay? That was my 40th birthday. The least you could have done was try to accommodate me in some small way, but you made 0 effort. I don't even know how your restaurant is still open because the food sucks. Do not go to Cipriani's.
Ready with me while I tell you about the worst guy that I feel like I've ever talked to or that I've ever met. Now, he wasn't a cheater. Well, he could have been. He wasn't like I never got close enough to him, but he was just really fucking weird. So let me tell you about it. So I met this guy and I kept seeing him all over my school. When I would tell you like, okay, I know that you're probably like, what? Like, you see everyone all over. No. My school was really big and like, I didn't have no classes with him. I didn't have like, I never saw him in classes. I would just always see him like at different shit that I just wouldn't expect him to be, or like he would sit next to me at random shit that I'm like, what the fuck? So one day I just talked to him. One day I was just like, you know what, like, I don't know, this is weird, but like, let me talk to you. So I said, hey bro, like, I be seeing you everywhere. And he's like, no, for real, like, I be seeing you everywhere. I'm like, I know, it's crazy. So that's when the love story started. So we started texting. He was like one of those like nonchalant guys. He was like, oh, well, like, what are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, like, I'm not doing nothing Saturday or whatever. He's like, oh, like, we can go out if we stay consistent, because I'm not really good at texting. Okay, like, keep in mind, like, bitch, you know me, guys. Y'all know me. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't care. But, I didn't really give a fuck. So, honestly, like, once he told me that, I'm gonna be honest, I stopped texting him. Because I was like, you're kind of weird, bro. Like, that was a weird thing to say. We keep texting. It was fine. And he had asked me that night, doing tonight. And I was like, oh, well, like, actually, I'm not doing anything. I got out of school. I'm not working. Like, I'm not doing nothing. Do you want to do something? And he's like, yeah, like, let's go eat. Do you like ramen? And I'm like, yeah. Now, my immediate thought is like, okay, first of all, good at making decisions, period. Let a plan, love that. He also was a gentleman, told me that he could come pick me up. But I was like, oh, like, no. No, I don't want you to pick me up. But I can, like, go there. I can drive there, which I didn't drive at the time, but I digress. And the next thing that he says is, oh, like, let's go. Let me pick you up and let's go to Smoothie King. And I'm like, Smoothie King? What? And he's like, yeah, like, we can go to Smoothie King, and then I know this great spot, and we can just sit and talk. Okay, this is getting a little suspicious. So I'm trying to read the vibes. I then realize that the great spot he's talking about is a parking garage, and then sit in his car and talk. No, okay, I want you to, like, hear me out when I say this, that I want to, like, let everyone know, my idea of an amazing date is literally sitting somewhere with a good view and just talking, eating food. That's a vibe. But, like, can we, like, meet first, maybe? I don't know, like, to me, just the whole thing, plus his personality, because his personality wasn't giving me, like, soft lover boy. His personality was giving me, like, player. You would know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I don't feel comfortable with this. My intuition is telling me no. Now, after this situation, I had went on a date almost like that. Not parking garage, but, like, we just sat somewhere and talked. And to me, that's a date. Maybe that's not a date. But anyways, and it was fine. Because that guy gave me this comforting vibe that wasn't like, I want to fuck, I'm desperate. Because with this guy, the way he was texting me, the way he was talking to me, it was just weird. I was honest. I was like, I'm not trying to say that you are being inappropriate at all. Like, I want you to know that this is not personal thing that I'm like, this is not personal of me to say. But I do want to let you know, I'm not doing anything physical with you. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to get there and you be like, oh, well, you wasted my time and, like, I bought you something. Like, you know how guys are. I didn't say all that, but I'm telling you, like, you know why I would say this. So I'm like, yeah, like, I don't want to waste your time. I'm just not really into doing anything physical. I'm not into, you know, none of that. And I've been on dates before. Now I've been on dates before where I didn't say that at first, and they forced themselves onto me multiple times, up to 6 times before I left. Like, seriously. So understand why I would say this. He's a man. Now, I knew if he got defensive, I wasn't going to go at all. And he was like, oh, like, who said anything about getting physical? I'm like, well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that you said that. I'm just letting you know. Just in case that was your intention, I don't want to do that. And he's like, okay, well, like, you're not ready. You're not ready for that. Like, you're not ready for this big dick. Ready for it. You're not ready for this third leg, he said. Immediately uncomfortable. You said that as a joke. I'm not fucking joking. Because nothing's funny about you forcing yourself onto me. And that's what I was like. I'm not saying, okay, you know what I am saying? I am assuming I am saying, because, and that's okay. And that's okay. Because a man is a man. Sorry, not all men, but like most. In a parking garage, there's no way for me to prove that he's touching on me. If there's not people, it's late as fuck. So if he did rape me, no one would fucking know. Do you know, people, like, let's not be stupid, guys. We know how these things hold up in court. Now, I know I'm jumping to conclusions. I know. But I simply was just like, I don't want to do that. That was really what I was saying. I don't want to sit in your car. I want to just go out to eat. So he texts me, he's talking about some options. He's like, okay. So I said, I don't want to go. After you said the whole third leg comment, I told him I didn't want to go because I was uncomfortable. And that's the truth. I don't care. Call me a lame ass bitch. I have some self-respect and I'm not going to date a guy who talks like that. So then we can just go as friends. First of all, can we not go as friends and still not be sexual? Like, you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? Just jumping to conclusions. Maybe I'm just being a little extra. So I tell this guy, I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's go out. And he said, let's go eat. Forgot what the food was. Burgers. I'm like, okay. He then was like, okay, well, I'm dropping off my homeboy. I'll call you. So I'm like, okay. So he calls me. And he's like, actually, I'm not hungry. I said, okay. He said, let's just go to Smoothie King and like we can just sit in my truck in this parking garage. How many fucking times? Okay, first of all, I already told you twice that I don't want to fucking do that. So I hang up, I text him, or he hangs up. It was really weird. I was like, I don't want to fucking sit in your car. Like, sorry, I don't. So he's like, okay, whatever. So I leave him undelivered for hours, about like 9:30 at night. I text him again. I'm like, what are you doing right now? And he's like, oh, like, I'm on the way home. Like, do you want to go do something? We can go eat. So keep in mind, then I said, okay, blah, blah, blah. We continue talking. He then goes, actually, I don't really want to eat. Let's go to Smoothie King. What the fuck? So I said, this sounds like a fucking setup. He says, a setup, you're not special. Oh, okay, that's funny. So then I was like, okay, great. So then by the end of it, he kept pushing for, he wants to sit in his truck and just fucking fuck, basically. So I was like, oh, like, I don't want to get sexually assaulted tonight. So, like, I'm really good. Thanks. Like, you're so pushy. It's really scaring me. And he was like, oh, like, you're not worth going to jail for. Okay. Okay. So he kept texting me. I never talked to him again. Because, I don't know. I'm not saying he was going to do anything. But, like, why were you so pushy? I feel a little... What? Like, this is so weird. Like, you're weird.
Okay, so not long at all into my browsing through my likes on Hinge, I come across this profile, this guy who has pictures with, like, he's friends with this other guy that I actually, like, went on a few dates with a while ago, right? So remind me of this story about him. So this guy and I, we matched just a couple years ago. We match, we end up going on a couple dates, it ends up fizzling out, whatever. 6 months later, he likes me again on Hinge, which you have my number, but whatever, I'll play the game. So we start messaging on there. He's like talking about one of the pictures on my profile is me at a bar. He was like, oh my gosh, like, is this from room 40? Were you at room 40? I was like, room 40, not familiar, no. And he said, oh my gosh, like, it's this new bar, like, it's right across the river, like, it's so cool. I can't believe you haven't been there. Like, I'm gonna have to take you on a date to room 40. And so I was like, yeah, like, you can take me on a date to room 40. Sounds fun, whatever, would love to check it out. So we're texting and he keeps bringing up, like, this is over a course of a couple days. He keeps bringing up room 40. He's just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you haven't been to room 40. I can't believe you haven't heard of it. Like, you're gonna love it. It's so much fun. It's such a cool vibe. Like, I can't wait to take you there. Da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, sounds fun. Like, looking forward to it. Just let me know when. He does this multiple times, like, within our regular conversations until, again, over the course of a couple days, finally he brings it up one more time. And I'm like, dude, I've looked it up at this point. Can't find anything on it. I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, Emma, I really hate to do this to you. I'm like, what? He's like, I just really hate to do this to you. I'm like, what? And then he sends not a text, but a voice memo of him saying, room 4D's nuts in your mouth. I just got a D's nuts joke ran on me by a 25-year-old. He was like 25, 26 at the time. And it's like, he set this up, he set the foundation and then let this joke run for a couple days, like dangling the bait in front of my face every single time he was bringing it up until finally he decided to pull the trigger by sending, again, not a text, but a voice note of him saying a D's nuts joke to me. So, yeah, needless to say, we never went to room 40. We never went anywhere, and I haven't talked to him since.